bitty city sitting pretty in a crop top. Riding through the city with my bitties in a drop top. Looking like the jackpot, dope it in a crack rock. Got these niggas wanna give me brain like a laptop. Bitches they hate cause I'm having my way. When you buy action, ain't nothing to say.
What's going on, everybody? YL from RebelEars.com here again with another great video. Today we're going to dive back into this Apollo vocal chain. I saw the last video of the Apollo vocal chain, the simple vocal chain, just got such great feedback. I figured we'll dive deeper down into a more advanced vocal chain. All right, so now, as you can see, I got my console pulled up, my Apollo Twin console. I'm only showing you just the one channel that I'm recording on, so you don't have just a bunch of channels just to look at. Y'all know I'm in Atlanta, so in Atlanta, Autotune is really, really big, whether you're an R&B singer or a rapper, and either other genres as well. So this would be a great vocal chain for you guys that are dealing with those type of singing vocals. All right, so as you can see up here, I have a 610B. My 610B is my preamp, and I pulled it into my Unison slot. So in this video, I want to kind of dive into Unison, right? The first video, the simple vocal chain, was more for beginner artists, beginner musicians that just wanted a decent sound, something quick and easy that didn't take a lot of explanation and understanding. All right, so now when we get into Unison, so what does Unison do, right? So Unison, once you pull a preamp into Unison, what it does is it takes that preamp and it automatically creates and turns it into a built-in preamp with your interface, right? So it is no longer acting as an insert, right? So you can put your preamp on the insert here onto the track, which would be after, right? Will be post, and then you have your preamp, right? So it'll be pre-amplifying. So this will be before it actually touches the track, right? So what happens is if I turn on my 610B in the Unison slot, as you can see, this whole knob here just snapped to orange. Now let me show you what just happened. I'm going to move my cursor over here, and as you can see, you can no longer hear me. You can barely hear me. As you can see, I'm actually turning my input gain knob up with my interface, right? So what happens is my 610 just became a preamp that is built into the interface and now is controlled by the interface. The cool thing about this is in ways you are able to control your hardware and your software at the same time. Your hardware being your interface, your software being your plugin or your preamp, right? And they actually will try to emulate the actual sound of the developers, right? So that's the coolest thing I would probably say. One tricky thing about using preamps in Unison would be your gain staging, right? So to be honest, when you are kicking your preamp in Unison, you're really going to have to crank your gain levels on your preamp. If I turn this off, you can see my knob is not even all the way up, and you can probably still hear me almost the same. Without a preamp at all, you can see how amplified and how loud my voice is. You actually see me peaking over here, right? So once I turn on my 610, as you can see, I'm cranked all the way up here input wise. I'm cranked here on my level, and I'm cranked here on my preamplifier gain as well. The thing about it is, of course, we like to use our ears. We say, turn the knob until it sounds good. The thing about recording and trying to get the best recordings is all about levels. It's all about your gain staging. So gain staging is the most important part of recording, in my opinion. So if you're not really familiar and aware with how to gain stage properly, I would say be careful with the Unison slot. All right, so that's the cool thing about Unison. Like I said, it basically takes a plug-in and it builds it into your interface, whatever interface you have. now becomes basically an outboard preamp, right? So it almost emulates you actually having that outboard preamp that your microphone is going into before it hits the interface. So that's super, super cool about Unison, but it can be tricky if you don't understand gain staging. All right, so the first thing I always put in the vocal chain for myself would be an EQ. As you can tell, I have a deep voice. It's a lot of low frequencies, a lot of low resonance in my vocals. So I just like to, kind of shape and mold some of that out and just get a nice, clean, crisp. Remember, this is what we're going to sound like going into the recording, right? So if I cut this, my first plugin, of course, is the Pultec Pro Legacy. You guys have seen this plugin. I love this EQ just because of all of the different parameters. And as I turn that plugin on, you can hear the crispiness, the freshness of my vocals now. Of course, I'm dipping some lows out, dipping at 100. Attenuation, of course, means to turn down. I'm dipping at 1K, a lot of mud there. I can also dip at 7. As you can see, if I dip at 7, it just gives me a little more presence in my vocals. I'm pushing a little bit at 4K. I'm pushing a little bit at 8K, right? So this, to me, when you're building a vocal chain for a certain artist, you already know what they sound like dry, right? You know what they sound like just raw as possible. You know if they have a really high pitched voice. You know if they have a really low voice. You know their voice raw. So in my opinion, putting an EQ on your vocal chain first, it just allows you to kind of tame and shape some of those raw resonant frequencies that you might not want to hear in your recording. The thing about recording is once it hits post, there's really nothing you can do about it, right? If it's just not right, you're gonna have to go back and re-record it. That's how it happens, right? That's how it works. All right. So first thing I always do is build an EQ according to the vocals of whoever I'm dealing with. And then that way I can come in, just shape it a little bit, and then we can start to build on top of the shape, right? So we shape with the EQ. The next thing I put in here is for those, like I said, for those singers. So if I pull up this RealTime Autotune plugin, all right, I already have the key to my beat, which is A minor in Pro Tools. So of course I set my key to A minor. I have a very slow retune speed. I don't want a whole lot of auto-tune. I don't want a lot of the robotics. Like this would be for someone who is singing, someone that has a natural, nice voice. I don't, but if they did, they would probably make this sound really, really nice. So we're going to cut this on now. And as you can see, it's a little, slightly different. You guys can hear the tune. You can hear a little bit of the tune. But if I were to start singing, then you can start really hearing the tune, right? So we cut a little bit of tune on. We can actually dial back on some of that retune speed. Just make it a little bit slower. As you can see, I have my human eyes all the way up. Just to keep it original. Like I said, I'm not going for the future T-Pain kind of auto-tune. This is more just pitch correction if I'm helping a singer that's coming in to record. My flicks tune is pretty turned up pretty high, just to kind of be able to help maintain those transitions in the notes, right? Really simple. If you understand auto-tune, cool. If not, I do plan on doing a full dive into auto-tune one day. So the next plugin would be my Reverb Pro. This is probably one of my favorite reverbs. And a lot of people might say, why put a reverb on your vocal chain? Well, reverb just adds substance, right? So the thing about reverb that I like is you can really build how you want to build it, right? If you want to sound 2 miles away, if you want to sound right up in the ear, if you want to sound underwater, if you want to sound in the tunnel, if you want to sound, however you want to sound, right? But you don't have to use it, right? So if you don't think you need reverb for however your room is set up or however your vocal chain is set up, then don't use it. right? I just like building some type of putting that presence and putting a little bit of resonance back in after I shape my vocals. So we're gonna turn this reverb on. And as you can hear, it's not really a whole lot different, right? It does sound better in my opinion. As you can tell, I was able to come in here and EQ some of my low resonance back out. You can hear just a very slight tail on this reverb, but it's clean. It's nice. And if I were to start singing, it sounds a little bit better. It adds a little bit body to that auto tune that I will be using for that particular singer. As you can see, my mix is very low. I'm on 7%. So I'm barely using this reverb. If I turned it all the way up, then you see it would sound like this, right? It would sound crazy, 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 crazy. I'm not even pumping it. I only have it at 7%. All right. Last but not least, of course, you cannot go anywhere without the LA2, the LA2A Teletronics. Of course, y'all seen this compressor a lot. One of my favorite. And we basically just use this right here to get our gain and to get our compression going before we go into recording. Right? Like I said before, all of these plugins are selective. If you don't want to use them, then you don't have to, right? But this is just something for those people that need just a nice, smooth vocal chain, right? So as you can see, I'm pushing my gain reduction probably like around 60, 70, my gain around 60, 70. We're going to turn this on and we're going to see what it sounds like. All right, so I'm on now. All right, you hear a lot of presence. So what I want to do personally, I want to turn this gain knob down. I think I'm pushing a little too hard, pushing a little too much. I also want to bring my gain reduction back just a tad. The fact of the matter is, if I'm a singer, I do want to tame those transients. I do want to tame those loud and aggressive notes. So a decent amount of gain reduction is necessary, in my opinion, when you're recording a singer. I would say stay like around the 4 range, 3 to 4 range. So probably like right where we're at now is where I'm satisfied at. And then we'll just raise this gain up just a tad more. All right, so we'll cut that off. And then you hear how it sounds. You hear how, you know. And then see the great thing about throwing this LA2A on the end is it amplifies everything that I've just done. Right, so check this out. Now you hear my voice, right? So you can hear the EQ, you can hear the brightness that I've built out of my EQ. You can hear my reverb. You can hear that small tail that it can just give me a little bit of body. You can hear a little tune once I start singing. You know, my singing is horrible, so please excuse me. But now you guys have a full vocal chain of how I would record a singer going into Pro Tools. Now let's take it to Pro Tools. All right, so I have this beat up right here. All right, and we're going to do 3 different recordings today. So this first recording I'm going to do is actually going to be me recording, and we're going to start from like the middle of the beat here. It's going to be me recording through this vocal chain. No plugins will be added onto any of these recordings, so you can hear how your artist would sound raw, coming in straight recording. This is before mixing. This is no presets, no templates, no nothing. This is just straight raw recording. So let's tap into it. So this would be with the vocal chain we just built. Woke up alive today, feeling all kind of grateful. We outside today, and we gon' vibe today. Ain't got time to waste, cause life be flying away. I hope you find a way, cause I'ma get mine today. Alright. So the next one that we're actually gonna do, the next recording I want to do is without Unison, so you guys can see the difference when we're not using our Unison slot. All right, so when we're not using our Unison slot, this is what we would sound like coming in raw recording. Woke up alive today, feeling all kinda grateful. We outside today, and we gon' vibe today. Ain't got time to waste, just like be flying away. I'ma find a way, cause I'ma get mine today. And excuse me if I'm messing up the words, y'all. I'm not an artist. I'm just trying to give you guys kind of the same tone, same lyrics, the same vibe, the same loudness and amplitude. All right, and then the last recording that we are going to do is going to be with none of these plugins on. It's just strictly dry. All right, it's going to be just strictly dry. I'll cut all of that off, and now you can already hear the difference, right? So let's get this last recording in and we'll make a comparison. Woke up alive today, feeling all kinda grateful. We outside today, and we gon' vibe today. Ain't got time to waste, like be flying away. I hope you find a way, cause I'ma get mine today. Alright, so right now I'm speaking to you all with no plugins on, everything is dry. Let's hear the differences real quick. So at first, we will do the one with no plugins whatsoever on it. This is just straight raw and dry. Woke up alive today, feeling all kinda grateful. We outside today, and we gon' vibe today. Ain't got time to waste, like be flying away. I hope you find a way, cause I'ma get mine today. Alright, and this is with the inserts in, with the plugins in, but no Unison. We didn't have any preamp in Unison. Woke up alive today, feeling all kinda grateful. We outside today, and we gon' vibe today. Ain't got time to waste, just like be flying away. I'ma find a way, cause I'ma get mine today. That one, in my opinion, was a little bit smoother. It had kind of like a tail on it. You can kind of hear a small hint of reverb. And then let's hear this one here. Woke up alive today, feeling all kind of grateful. We outside today, and we gon' vibe today. Ain't got time to waste, cause life be flying away. I hope you find a way, cause I'ma get mine today. Alright, that one had a lot more presence in it. You can hear a lot more verb in that one, in my opinion. Now, what I do want to do, I'm going to mute this music, and then we'll hear them again one at a time. Woke up alive today, feeling all kind of grateful. We outside today, vibe today. Ain't got time to waste, cause like be flying away. Cause I'ma get mine today. Alright. So as you can hear, this one right here, the one with the actual vocal chain, it's a lot smoother, it's a lot more body and presence, and it just flows a lot better. Woke up alive today, feeling all kinda grateful. We outside today, and we gon' vibe today. Ain't got time to waste, cause life be flying away. I hope you find a way, cause I'ma get mine today. And I'm not a singer. Alright, so if you like that template, man, make sure you tap in, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Show some love. RebelEars.com, again, YL here. Hope to see you guys next time. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you like the vocal chain, use it. Swap some things around. Let me know how you feel about it. Till next time, refuse to sound ordinary.